election day, and I've had my minute warm-up of jumping jacks now, so kind of put my foot in it this time. I haven't done jumping jacks for a long time. A while ago, when I used to go to work, I would take a jump rope with me, and sometimes when the kids would go outside and play, I would supervise them and jump rope at the same time. One of my coworkers said that a jump rope is a dangerous object, and therefore the policies changed, so I could not have a jump rope on my person and jump rope at work anymore. When that happened, I started doing jumping jacks instead. Now, there has been times at work where I have done jumping jacks for well over an hour straight. I remember one time in particular, the kids were in the gym doing basketball or some crazy game with rubber balls. I think it was called bamboozle. And I just sat on the sidelines and I did jumping jacks for an hour. And towards the end, the kids were more concerned with watching me and when I was going to finally get tired and stop, more than the game itself. That's kind of like the freak show in the gym. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do jumping jacks for half an hour, because I just have not done them in a while, and when the body is not used to doing something, it just gets tired easy. Now, a lot of people today are not doing jumping jacks. What they're doing is going to their polling place and casting a vote for who the next President of the United States should be. Now, I gotta admit, these last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been a lot of political ads in my purple minivan as I drive to and from work. Now, technically speaking, I am a member of the government. Now, not the United States government. I'm not a Fed. I work for the state. But I'm hoping that today, doing jumping jacks, I'm doing a little bit something of my own patriotic duty. Because I don't go out, I do not intend to go out and vote today. And this video, just to show that I'm not lazy, that I don't care, and I'm not apathetic. I'm just angry, I guess. You know, I wouldn't say it's rage, I guess. I'm just disappointed in the quality of leadership in the world today. Now, I heard a radio ad about Mitt Romney and how he was instrumental in helping find a young missing person. It was a very random television ad, a really random radio ad, I think, where some guy said, I support Mitt Romney because he helped find my missing child. That was pretty cool. And then the thing is, that radio ad sticks out in my mind because it was maybe the only positive radio ad that I heard in Honor One. Everyone else saying how like Barack has failed because the economy is so miserable, that Mitt Romney is out of touch because He wants to take women back to the Stone Age. No birth control, no abortions, no Planned Parenthood. Well, I'm a Catholic man, and I had a nice talk with my lady yesterday about getting baby Gabriel baptized, about the fact that as much as I'd love to have 7 kids, it'd be really hard to bring them up in the world today with enough to eat, with enough attention to make sure that they know that they are special and they are loved and what is important. Now, get a breath. Normally, when I work out here, I have my 50-cent piece in my shoe. Well, today, I'm holding it in my hand, and right now, already, it's sweaty as heck. Like, I hopefully won't fumble John F. Kennedy and he'll go flying across the garage, because he's getting kind of slippery and kind of hard to hold on to. And I think, for some reason in my mind, that was just a perfect analogy for this day and for this moment. I want anybody that sees this movie to go to the bank and get a 50-cent piece, put it in your hand, and do jumping jacks until you can't do jumping jacks anymore. Right now, my right hand, because it is balled closed into a fist, it's very sweaty. And I can just feel John F. Kennedy trying to slip out as my arms are moving back and forth. But I got a pretty good grip on him, and I'm hoping that I won't lose him. 4 years ago, I voted for Barack Obama. And I gotta admit, one of the reasons that I voted for him was Jack. No, not my son-to-be, Gabriel Jack Bauer. Yesterday I purchased a high chair with the name Bauer on it. And Jack Bauer, the fictional character, worked for a fictional African-American president by the name of David Palmer. Now, sometimes art imitates life, and sometimes it's the other way around. Life imitates art. Now, if David Palmer was a real person, a real leader, chances are, after he got sniped, I think it was in season 4, or was it season 5? I don't remember, it's gone out before now, but chances are they would have made some pretty nice memorials for that president. I was kind of swept up in the moment because President Obama was a very charismatic man who I thought was going to make a much bigger impact on the United States of America than he did. I'm not saying that he was a bad president. I'm not saying that at all. If I did have to vote today, I think I would vote for Barack Obama. My lady said that he is the lesser of the 2 evils. Where I come from, evil is evil. So perhaps that's why I'm not giving my support. America has a lot of challenges. The world has a lot of challenges. And I think that's the whole atmosphere of the election. The pep rally, the parties, the debates, the speeches on TV. It reminds me of high school, of two football teams, each sitting in their gyms, cheering on each other, having the cheerleaders come out, having the players come out, having the coaches come out, and then having the star quarterbacks come out and tell how they're going to beat the other team. In my mind's eye, the election should be a very serious, very solemn, very powerful and emotional moment. Not a spectator sport. I would not want to be president of the United States. Like, I consider myself an intelligent guy, good problem solver, and a man that has the ability to use imagination to basically make any situation better. But holy cow, we got some work to do if we're going to turn the world around. Now, there's a lot of problems on the docket for the debates in the election today. There's the economy. Today, my lady and I were going to go out shopping for some more groceries, but I said, we really can't do that right now because basically my paychecks are already gone for this month. We had the furnace. Then we had to take care of getting the new furnace, which was basically my tax payment for 2012. Now, here I am, lower middle class guy. I have my own house. It's paid for. There are two vehicles right here to my left. They're paid for. I have probably the lowest maintenance cost of any human being. I love to write. I love to exercise. And I love to make these stupid videos. So everything I do pretty much is free. I don't go fishing on a boat. I don't go skiing in Aspen. I don't have a plane. I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't do anything pretty much that costs a lot of my net income. But yet, taking care of 4 people, my love, her little girl, and my son, that's hard. It's getting hard to make ends meet without any extra expenses at all. That's just not depressing as much as it is alarming. Because according to Hoyle, I do everything right. I save my money, I don't spend, I invest, I do things that should make me have a prosperous life. But in the end, I'm still struggling because of the way the system is working. I think that the system itself needs to have an overhaul. Now, I've been playing a lot of games the last few months. Normally I do that during the winter, but because I was injured, I played my games a little bit earlier than I should have. Now that means I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time in this stinking garage freezing my butt off trying to get in shape because I'm out of shape and America is out of shape. There is no doubt about that. America has gotten a little bit entitled. We America has gotten a little bit lazy. America really needs to think about making an overhaul. In these games, a lot of times, if things aren't going very well, instead of sticking them out to the bitter end because I know it's going to be a lose situation, what I'll do is hit the reset button and start over. What a wonderful luxury that is. Like in this game called FTL, Faster Than Light. I command a spaceship. And a lot of times, in the first few turns of the game, a couple bad things will happen. And it's just better to say, heck with this, and start the game over, and try to get a new beginning. That's much more advantageous. I gotta stop doing that. I really gotta stop doing that. It isn't always the easy road to success that is the most meaningful. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if someone won the presidency and passed a law that says, hey, things are messed up. We're going to give $150,000 to every man, woman, and child in America, redistribute the wealth, and start over. A lot of people would say, oh my gosh, communism, socialism. No. But I bet a lot of people would love that idea. And a lot of the very few influential and powerful people would absolutely hate that idea. The billionaires would be like, what? You can't take my hard-earned billions and give them to some homeless whelp on the street. That's just not right. So the question remains, what can we do in this situation without starting over? And I think that there was a president, Thomas Jefferson, that said, every now and then you need a good revolution to kind of start things up. Now, that's paraphrasing. I don't think America needs another revolutionary war. What I think it needs is a revolution in the way that people think. Now, in my hand, I'm holding that coin, and it's still slippery as ever. John F. Kennedy died before I was born. There was a gunshot. He was taken away from the world. Now, I've never seen John F. Kennedy, of course, in person, but I have spent a lot of time on the internet, I guess, researching history and watching a lot of John F. Kennedy's speeches. I've also watched a lot of Martin Luther King Jr. speeches. And for a while, I watched a lot of Barack Obama speeches. If I could ask the president today any question, for some reason the motorcade pulled up to 654 McKinley and knocked on my door, I would ask him, who writes your speeches, Mr. President? And hopefully he would give me a list of names. I'm assuming that the President of the United States embodies integrity, and he'd be honest about such a question. Because I think one of the most important things I want to ask JFK, if we ever meet again on the other side, did you write your own speeches? I just love John F. Kennedy's speeches. Now, looking at those speeches, for JFK standing in front of the microphone and going on and on about courage. I didn't see no teleprompter. I think the teleprompter is probably one of the worst inventions in the history of the United States. I hate teleprompters. Now, if I was going like this and giving this speech, I bet a lot of people would say, hey, wait a minute. He's probably just putting a disc into the TV and reading what it says. I could give this speech with my eyes closed. It's easy for me because I'm speaking what's on my heart. Now, some of John F. Kennedy's speeches were long. I mean, really long. And I was always in awe as a young person. Wow, how did he memorize all that? I was always good in speech. I always got A's in speech. But I never was comfortable giving speeches because I didn't want to make a mistake. I would write my speech and then memorize it. I have a very powerful memory. Yesterday, I annoyed my sweetie quite a bit by showing her that I have memorized almost every line in the movie Nacho Libre. It's, I think because the story of Nacho is written on my heart. I think that a lot of what John F. Kennedy said is from the heart. I don't know. People that read the news to me every day, the presidents that stand in front of America and read the words on the screen on a teleprompter, it just doesn't seem to me like it's coming from the heart. Now, I know the President of the United States is supposed to be a really, really smart guy, but thanks to the example of George W. Bush, I've come to realize that anybody that's willing to stand up in front of a camera and read that teleprompter can kind of do the job. Sarah Palin, God bless her heart. I mean, I don't think Sarah Palin is going to wipe the floor with anybody at Jeopardy. I don't think that Sarah Palin will give Sun Tzu a run for his money in a chess game. I don't think that Sarah Palin would do well in any real high-stress political leader. But it's interesting to see that more and more, a lot of people that lead with their heart are kind of poking their nose into things. I'm thinking that the best president of the United States be a man or a woman who absolutely has no desire to be the president of the United States. A lot of times, I think people go into politics to kind of be like the crown jewel of their life, or maybe the cherry on top of the sundae. Sarah Palin, Beauty Queen, Jesse Ventura, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, actors and athletes. I think a lot of times people choose the political realm just as a milestone in their legacy and their story. Now there are about 8 bajillion cigarette wrappers right there. Every time I go for a walk, chances are good I'll find a cigarette wrapper on the streets, pick it up and try to make America a little bit better place by removing that garbage. going to take you here to my workshop. My little sister is dating a young man who's 21 years old and has a burning, fervent desire to be a politician. And I talked to him about what's going to be left for him when he's in his 30s or 40s. And he wants to lead America. What's going to be left for him? Now, there's a lot of statistics, there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of facts. The one fact that really sticks in my mind right now is the 7 baby fact. Like, my beautiful lady has replaced herself in the human population. She has a beautiful girl that's smart, intelligent, funny, lovable, sensitive and caring and kind. And now I have my boy, who I'm hoping will be every bit the man I am and something more. The stat that really burns in my mind is a graph that showed a slight and gradual incline, and then in the 1900s shot up like a rocket, bound for heavens, bound for the great beyond. And that graph simply is the population of the world. Just looking at this graph makes me realize that all the problems, the high gas prices, 9% food inflation, poor housing, people dying of starvation, people dying of disease, lack of fresh water, franking foods, abortion, all this stuff. Every single one of these things is tied to that graph. That is not the problem of just America. That is not the problem of just Barack Obama, or Mitt Romney, or Russ Perot, or Ron Paul, or me. That is the world's problem. And that is a problem that really needs to get looked at. Al Gore and his global warming, Sally Struthers and Feed the Kids. Almost, I would say, 80 to 90% of the world's problems can be directly correlated with the world population growth graph. I think that Americans, world leaders, people of power, people of influence, people with imagination need to sit down together and have a revolution and need to discuss, gee, what are we going to do if there is one bacteria in a petri dish that divides into 2, divides into 4, divides into 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 5096, and on and so on into infinity. Those poor bacteria, they all starve. They all die. People talk about the doomsday clock. Time is all we have. We need to use it better as a people.